All right, here we go. Let's see if we can make it to the campground. Nobody lives past here. The Lazy K-Bar Ranch main gate we just passed, and there's no more tracks. So I've got it in four-wheel drive, and we've got about 2.5 miles to go. Hopefully I don't get stuck or run off in the ditch or anything. I don't think I will, as long as I don't drive like an idiot. All right, there we are. We made it. 2 hours and 45 minutes to go 25 miles. And it was a lot of drifts, everything. And then of course I get here, wind hasn't blown since yesterday. As soon as I get here, boom, the wind picks up. So we'll just have to fight with the noise. But I made it. This is the first campsite out of 12. I believe there's 12 here, 12 or 14. And I'm pretty much married to this one because, as you can see, the drifts. Well, I guess I could have got to that one too, but I'm already here. A lot of drifts. Couldn't hardly make it to the sign-in board. It was about waist deep. It was a lot of fun. It's really warm. It's about 34 degrees now. Starting to cool down. It was 36 when I first pulled in. So I am going to get camp set up, and then we're going to start talking about the crazy mountains of south central Montana. Well, we are set up. I've got the diesel heater set up. I've got everything inside. I did notice a couple of my batteries for some of my equipment was real low. I've got them on the power station inside the camper charging up. The area looks good. It's beautiful out. Get those charged up. I don't have the heater running yet. It's about 35, 36 degrees, so it's nice and warm. So I don't need it right away. But I think what we're gonna do is do a little walk around on the drive that goes around to the camping areas, and we're gonna take a look at it. Look how beautiful it is. We're gonna walk around. Man, it's a gorgeous day. A little bit of blue sky trying to come out. And big cliffs. These cliffs, the ones behind this tree, and you can't hardly see them, but the mountains way behind them trees are just full of mountain goats. You can come up in the summertime with your spotting scope and check them out. We're gonna make a trip up here this summer when it's all clear and green. Everything's nice. I'll do it hopefully towards the end of summer, in the middle of the week when there ain't a lot of people. And it's a nice area. This whole area in south central Montana, from the Belts and the Snowies all the way down to the Beartooth, is pretty famous for the 1800s. I just came up a hill, and all of the mountain men that used to come up. Some of the names you'll hear thrown around. Hughes, who was pretty famous for getting mauled by a grizzly, didn't get killed. Took him 4 or 5 days to crawl out. He crawled to town. on his hands and knees, but he survived. You've got Jim Bridger, of course. Bridger Mountains are just to the south of us. And then everybody's favorite, John Jeremiah Johnson, or Liver Eating Johnson for your old farts like me that have read the book 25, 30, 40 years ago. Contrary to popular belief, Jeremiah Johnson didn't spend a lot of time here in the Crazies. He did a lot up in the Belts and the Muscle Valley. He was a trapper, and there ain't too many places in the Crazies to trap beaver or anything like that. On the west side, there's a little bit more water. Here you got a couple little creeks. But he would pass through on his way down to the Beartooth Mountains, all the way down to the Tetons. So he did frequent the area. One legend has it that the Crazy Mountains, which they used to be called the Crazy Woman Mountains, was named after his first wife, who was up here. Of course, you guys know we're in the wind capital of the freaking world, and the wind and the isolation drove her nuts, and then that whole thing fell apart. That's really not true. It's actually known by the Native Americans that were from this area a lot longer before we got here, and it was mistranslated. The real translation was the Ominous Mountains, and then mistranslation everything, and they kind of changed the story. But there's a lot of people here. In a little bit further on into my little trip here, we're going to talk about 3 people that you're going to be real amazed that came up here, that nobody ever thought about. I'll give you one little hint. Kit Carson actually spent some time from the Belts down to the Beartooths, and also came through the Crazies. Crazy Mountains are real unique. They're very isolated. We're on the foothills of the east slope of the Rockies, and the Yellowstone River actually flows between the Crazies and the east slope of the Rockies. They project up out of the prairie all by themselves. You can drive all the way around. They're about 40, 45 miles long, 20, 30 miles wide. You can drive all the way around them and never leave the prairie. They sit out in the middle of the flats all by themselves. And the best thing about them, in the morning, they're about 15, 20 miles west of me. In the morning, I can get up, make a cup of coffee, go sit on my bench on my back porch, watch the sunrise behind me, watch the sun come down. When it's coming up, watch it illuminate the mountains, and I can sit and watch the best sunrises you can see on the planet right from my back porch. They're my favorite mountains in Montana. I love them. I'm going to spend a lot of time in them. I'm going to look at some other places too. We'll want to go up Beartooth Pass, maybe do some fishing, and we'll hit the other ones, the Belts, the Snowies, and then I'm going to start expanding out. We're going to start heading to some really nice mountains over in the western part of the state, all the way up to the northwest corner. The interesting thing about the Crazy Mountains, they are Crazy Peak of the top 10 or top 12 tallest peaks in Montana. They're all centered right around the Beartooth Mountains. Crazy Peak is the furthest north, and it's the tallest mountain north of the Yellowstone River. Everything else, Iron Mountain, all of the Granite Peak, the really tall ones are just to the south. I can see those from my house as well. So this area is fantastic, and it's a great place to camp. I came up a little early today so I could have some time to plan for the spring and summer, and I'm not leaving till tomorrow. So I'm going to have a lot of time to meditate, spend a little bit of time on my knees in prayer, and it's going to be a great trip. It's already turning out great, so I'm going to walk back down to the Jeep, set up a few more things, figure out what I'm going to do with my soaking wet pants tonight, and once it gets dark, if I can get it started, we'll start up a little fire and maybe eat a cheese stick. And man, what a fantastic day. Warm, very warm. I got a t-shirt and a flannel shirt on, and I'm fine. Well, it's starting to get a little cold out. I had to go put my watchman's cap on, keep my bald head warm. A beautiful night, a little bit of gusty wind. It'll blow for about 30 seconds and then it stops for a few minutes. Not bad at all. Absolutely gorgeous night. Starting to get cold up in the mountains. Life's good. Okay, there's one other mountain man that I really wanted to talk to you about. A lot of people don't know, spend a lot of time here. That's Daniel Boone. Daniel Boone came out when he was about 70 years old. He died when he was 85. He spent about 15 years going all through the Beartooth Mountains, the Crazy Mountains, and the Belts and Snowy Mountains. When I was doing a little bit of research on the mountains in our area, I was very surprised to see that. I thought I'd share that with you. Who would have thought that here in Montana, hanging out with all the mountain men would be a very old Daniel Boone. I thought that was pretty cool. So there's a little tidbit you can pack away and amaze your grandkids years from now.